Last month, we told you about an ongoing debate over the use of genetically modified mustard in India at the Supreme Court. Justices Dinesh Maheshwari and B.V. Nagaratna spent the week hearing final arguments in activist Aruna Rodriguez's challenge to the Ministry of Environment and Forest recent decision to grant approval for commercial cultivation of genetically modified mustard in 5 states. Does GM mustard pose a threat to the environment? Why did the ministry approve their use? Stay tuned to find out. Genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, have been a hotly contested issue in the Supreme Court since 2004. An NGO called Gene Campaign filed the first PIL challenging a GMO, followed by petitions from Rodriguez and others who approached the court in 2005. The PILs asked the court to direct the government to be transparent with the results of field trials conducted on GM crops. The PIL also asked the Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee to come up with a rigorous biosafety protocol for granting clearance to GMOs. What potential dangers do GMOs pose? Advocate Prashant Bhushan, appearing for Ms. Rodriguez, argued that the proposed herbicide-tolerant GM mustard absorbs the herbicide sprayed on the plant. If consumed, it may lead to health problems because of the toxicity of herbicide. Mr. Bhushan stated a new gene is created in the process of cultivating GM mustard. This causes a plant to create new proteins that may come with additional problems like increased toxicity and allergenicity. He argued that many European countries have banned genetically modified organisms due to these inherent dangers. Mr. Bhushan also highlighted GM mustard's effect on natural pollination. The crop may be harmful to insects such as honeybees, which are crucial to the ecosystem and natural crop pollination. These consequences are in direct contravention to the precautionary principle in environmental law. This is a legal approach which emphasizes caution and rigorous reviews of new innovations and activities if there is a suspicion that it may cause environmental damage. With an eye towards these possible consequences, Mr. Bhushan stressed on the Supreme Court appointed expert committee's recommendation from 2013 an indefinite and complete ban on herbicide-tolerant crops. Senior advocate Sanjay Parikh appeared next for the NGO Gene Campaign and referred to the 2013 expert committee report as well. He argued that there are major gaps in India's agricultural regulatory system and it would not be advisable to conduct more field trials until they are addressed. He also submitted that access to herbicide-tolerant crops is likely to reduce employment opportunities to women who are employed in weeding operations. Replying to Mr. Prashant Bhushan's arguments, Attorney General R. Venkataramani argued that the GM mustard debate boils down to a disagreement between scientists. He stated that such disagreements pave the way for science to evolve. Mr. Venkataramani took the court through how other countries have handled GM crops to argue that there is more than one opinion on the topic. The AG pointed out that the court can interfere in cases where the rule of law is to be upheld. However, it cannot get into the accuracy of the science involved. The bench at this point told the AG that the Technical Experts Committee was constituted on its orders and hence it can interfere to a limited extent. The AG took the court through various scientific perspectives on the advantages of GM mustard. He argued that the new GM hybrid with higher crop output can enhance agricultural income and